JD Frost, and welcome to the Accountability Show. Comment below if you like prior shows, prior episodes. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, tell all your friends about it, all that kind of good stuff. These episodes that we're talking about right now is mastering the art of bank financing. And in the last episode, we talked about the 3 Ps, which is very important: preparation, presentation, and persistence. When you're going to get financing for your business, when you're trying to find money for your business, an investment, multifamily deal, you're trying to find more money, you've got to be persistent. You got to have those 3 Ps, and persistence is the most important one. If you give up, you won't go find the money. But if you keep trying, if you keep connecting with people, if you keep the deal alive, it will eventually get funded, no doubt about it, because there's tons of money out there in the world. There's money everywhere. There's a partner, there's a deal to be made one way or the other. It might not end up being the way you want the deal to end up, but it will still get done if you're persistent. So out of those 3 Ps, persistence is the key. It is everything. That will apply to any part of your business, but especially getting money into your business. We talked about 4 levels of risk that the banks analyze, and we get a lot of this information from the book Mastering the Rockefeller Habits. I want to give credit where credit is due, and it's an incredible book. So if you haven't read that, go out there and read it. And in chapter 13, they talk about mastering the art of bank financing. There is an art to it. It is a requirement to have a story for your business when you're trying to get it financed. When you're talking to an investor, when you're talking to a loan opportunity, any of them are true investors. They might not be taking an equity spot in your business. They might not be taking an equity position in your business. But nonetheless, if people are loaning you money in your business, they are taking some type of position. Maybe not in an ownership place, but they are taking a position in your business. And you got to be able to tell them a story. You got to be able to articulate how in the world you're going to be able to pay them back. How are they going to get their original investment back? It has a lot to do with your passion. It has a lot to do with your story. It has a lot to do with what is happening now in your business. And so you've got to be able to tell them what is going on. Now, when you're going before a possible equity position, or you are going before a bank, you got to know certain things. You've got to know what you need. You got to know how much money you need. You got to know what you are willing to give up. Are you willing to give up ownership? Are you willing to give up an interest rate for that loan? You've got to determine if your opportunity is financeable. Is this really a finance deal? Is your opportunity truly something that somebody would invest in? And then the 4th thing, you've got to commit time and resources necessary to accomplish those objectives. You can't just say, I wish I had another $1 million. You've got to identify what you need to go get that. You've got to be willing to give up something in order to get it. And you've got to be able to determine whether or not that opportunity is something somebody would be interested in. You got to get them excited. You've got to be, what's the word I'm looking for? Passionate, excited, enthusiastic. That's the word I was looking for. Another book that I've read here recently, it's about selling. And I've got to tell you the title because the most important part of this is being enthusiastic. How I Raised Myself from Failure to Success in Selling. And in that book, all they talk about is being enthusiastic. And getting a loan for your business and mastering the art of bank financing is enthusiasm. That is the secret, is being enthusiastic about what you're doing. If you just are like, I need money, whatever, I need money. I don't know how I'm going to get it. Hey, do you have any money? Do you have any money that you can loan me? Do you have any money that you can put in? It's bullshit. Nobody wants to invest in that. Nobody wants to be a part of that. They want to be a part of something that is bigger than them, that is going to provide them with that passive income. That's how you got to be passionate. That's what you got to be thinking about. So in these episodes, we're talking about the how, the why, the what of these certain topics, these foundations for your accounting in your business. And one of these is mastering the art of bank financing. In this episode, we're talking and continuing to go down what I learned from the Mastering the Rockefeller Habits in chapter 13. and it's about bank financing. So those 4 things are what you need. Now you got to develop a strategy. You've got to put this into writing. You got to do your research. You've got to create financial statements. You've got to start getting appointments with people that have money, banks, lending institutions, mortgage brokers, your local investors, your friends, other private equity. You've got to start making appointments. You've got to have biographies. You got to be telling people about yourself. You got to let them know who you are. You got to tell them what your experience is. What have you done? Okay, I took my business from 0 million to 5 million in 7 years. How did you do that? You got to be able to tell that story, and you've got to have a bang it up presentation about your business that's going to show people why you're going to be able to pay them back, how you're going to be able to pay them back, and get them excited about it. Outside of you getting a consultant to help you with these things, now there's brokers out there. We actually help people put together financing packages. That would be us. We'd be consulting with you through the process and helping you come up with this total package that then you can hand to the bank and you can go meet with them, or hand to your private equity. We help you put that together. But you gotta give yourself a timeline here. So if you are looking at trying to get financing for your business, you got to give yourself a timeline. So 1 to 3 weeks needs to be allowed to prepare your bank presentation. 3 to 6 weeks needs to be allowed to put together the whole package. 2 to 4 weeks is a timeline to give you and the bank time to process that information. And then 1 to 3 weeks for final paperwork for the loan to be prepared. So you've got a long period of time, 1 to 3 weeks, 3 to 6 weeks, 1, 2, 3, 6, 8, 12 weeks, basically. 12 weeks is what you need to allow yourself in order to get financing. So that's a period of time of 3 months, right? 3 months? That's a quarter, 1 whole quarter. So if you don't know your numbers well enough to realize that you are going to need money in the future, in a full quarter, you're going to need that money. You've got to start that process now so that you don't get into a bind. Now, there are things called bridge loans that banks will give you while you're in the process of getting a loan executed. They will give you a bridge loan in order to help you get to the finish line. It's a little bit smaller loan. Say you're going for $2 million. They'll give you a bridge loan of $200,000 to allow you to continue to operate during that time. But you're not going to get that bridge loan unless you ask for it. We talked about in the previous episode the most powerful 3-letter word, ask, A-S-K. You got to ask for something. You won't get anything unless you ask for it. It's very, very powerful. I don't know what it is, but I think that even in my own life, it's been difficult to ask people for things because I'm too prideful. I think that I should be able to figure it out. I shouldn't have to ask. But asking is extremely powerful, and it'll help you grow your business. It'll help you get financing. So the shortest distance, this is one thing that I wrote down in my notes as I was reading this. The shortest distance between 2 points is clarity. The shortest distance between 2 points is clarity. So if you're clear on your vision, if you're clear on what you need, and you're clear on your presentation, you will get there a lot quicker. If you hand them a set of financial statements that has liabilities in the asset section and assets in the liability section and equity in the liability section, and it's all over the place, it's going to be a lot harder to convince somebody to give you $1 million. If your shit isn't put together correctly, if it isn't straight, if it isn't easily understood, then you're probably not going to get funded. So finance packages becomes a strategic plan basically for your business. It's a 3-year plan. And another thing to keep in mind when you are putting together this package is when you don't need money, you need to be establishing relationships with people who do have money. When you don't need it, you need to be talking with those people when they don't have the ability to be able to give it away right then, but you know they have it. You've got to start these relationships sooner than later. This is what builds the relationship. It allows them to see your character. It allows them to get to know you more, get to know your business. So when you go ask them for money, they don't really have to have such a a presentation, they know what's going on in your business. They understand where you are, and they'll be more likely to say yes to you at that point in time when you actually need money for your business. So in this Mastering the Art of Bank Financing, we have a few more things that we're going to be going over, a few more notes that are going to help you to get better financing for your business. They're going to help you put money into your business, and it'll help you be enthusiastic and have confidence in going into that meeting because you've done all the due diligence work it takes to show your story, to prove your story, to tell your story to that person who might be able to help you finance your business. I hope you enjoyed this episode of The Accountability Show. Like, share, comment. What else do you do? Subscribe. Please tune into the podcast too. I've got a podcast called the Daily Ledger Podcast where you can hear the audio version of these episodes of The Accountability Show. Go and give me a review on iTunes. I'd really appreciate it, especially if it was 5-star, only if you really liked it. But thanks for tuning in to The Accountability Show. I appreciate it, and we'll see you back on the next episode.